As we tape this show, we are in the midst of a war over in Iraq that's causing this country billions of dollars each day. All as a result of an attack that took place on American soil on 9/11. And after the attack took place on 9/11, all of our top military brass came together to determine a strategy and a plan for retaliation. And when they came up with the strategy and the plan, they had to derive the right time to carry out this attack. And one of the keys to the attack is supposedly the element of surprise. So in most cases, when a war takes place, the military strikes in the middle of the night to catch the enemy off guard. And one of the things they do when they swoop in and they bomb these countries, the first thing they do is they bomb their roads, they bomb their bridges, and they bomb their communication system, because they want to shut them down and stifle them from being able to move about and to be able to communicate. So they knock out their telephone lines, they knock out their power lines, and they knock out their radio and TV communication to keep the enemy from being able to communicate with one another, to gain an advantage on them when they go into war. And this is what's happening in our inner city communities. There's a system in place that's designed to stifle the communication that we get, the information source. And the power structures that be controls the media. And they control what we read in the print media. Therefore, they shape and mold our minds with what we get, what we hear, and what we see. And consequently, they feed us propaganda after propaganda after propaganda. And then when they get through feeding us propaganda, they then give us the solution to the problem. And they fix it up so great that it looks like they're looking out for our interests. And this is what has happened with this budget that Mayor Daley has presented to the city council to force upon the people. They painted this doomsday picture for the last 6 months or so. They presented this doomsday crisis with the CTA. If the state legislative don't bail us out, we're going to have to raise taxes, we're going to have to lay off people, we're going to have to cut the services. They prepared the minds of the people for this increase, this massive increase. And then the mayor got on TV with some other elected officials and held a rally downtown urging the state legislative to pass the budget with an increase in it and to put a 7% cap on property tax, to give the impression that he's concerned about the needs and the concerns of the people, when it's time to justify this tax increase that he's been preparing the minds of the people for. So when it comes, everything, they throwing everything, including the kitchen sink, in these taxes. And let me tell you how behind the scenes politics work. What you do in a budget, you create a wish list. You create everything that you think you want in that budget, knowing that when it's all said and done, it's going to be cut down, but ultimately you're going to come out with more than what you wanted in that budget. This is the game that they plan with us. So when they come with this overly inflated budget, and then they decrease the budget, they're getting what they really want, but they're playing with your minds. I keep telling you, you got to stop letting the news media and these elected officials play with your mind. They play games with you. They deceive you. They get on TV and lie to you. They tell you it's raining, it's raining, it's raining. Run in the house when the sun is shining. They play games with your minds, people. And you got to stop letting your elected officials and this mayor play games with your mind. See, the mayor gets on TV and says he's concerned about the common people and the poor. As a matter of fact, he got on TV crying, whining with emotion to the news media. Not to portray him as somebody that don't care about the common people. Somebody that don't care about the poor. You can do what you want, but don't say, I don't care about the poor. That's what the mayor said on TV, Master Richie. That's what he said. And then he made the statement that these aldermen come in the side door asking, begging, I need this, I need that for my ward. And if you don't get the services, don't blame him. That's what he said. Don't blame him. Well, I'm just wondering what aldermen are coming in your side door and what aldermen are getting what when they come to your side door. Because it's pretty obvious that the black community and the Hispanic communities and the poor communities are not benefiting from the $6 billion budget that the city has. So I want to know who's coming in the side doors, who's getting the services. Because when I look at this $6 billion budget, I see that only 7% of the city budget in the terms of contracts go to blacks and minorities. Under 17 years of this mayor that's so concerned about the poor, concerned about the misfortunate in the city, so concerned to the tune he want to raise the taxes again on the common everyday people that he's concerned about. And he's so deeply concerned, but he ain't giving the common everyday people nothing in return for these massive tax dollars. He get on TV and lie to the people. He gets on TV and tell the people that this tax increases for more libraries and this and that. But you see, here's the problem I have with these lies that the mayor's telling the people on TV and brainwashing them through the media to believe these fables that he's telling the people. Because when I look at this $6 billion budget and the allotment of contracts that's being awarded out of this budget to blacks and minorities, you have for every $100 spent in the form of contracts out of this $6 billion budget, white contractors and vendors get $93 for every $100 spent out of this $6 billion budget, while black and Hispanics only get $7 out of that $100 spent out of the budget. For every $1,000 spent out of the city budget for contracts and services, white contractors and vendors take home $930, while black contractors only take home $70. For every $100,000 spent out of this $6 billion budget, white contractors take home $93,000 is what they get, while black and Hispanic contractors get $7,000 for every $100,000 spent out of this city's $6 billion budget. And then for every $1 million spent